Today I'm going to show you how I help and run a few small businesses using Google Sheets. And I do this based on a structure, a very specific structure that will allow these businesses to actually make money. And I will show you the problems I resolved, how they're making progress, and how easy it can be done, so you can do it too. So this is Google Sheets, and what I do with Google Sheets, the first thing I do with a small business is basically put all of their numbers here in this dashboard. And what I get is basically I can see how financially they are doing. Even they have red numbers, like in this case, this is monthly, by the way. This is a company that was losing $9,000 and sometimes 10, because their model of pricing, they were offering payments to their clients, right? Very small payments, and even if they sold a bunch of those, in this case musical instruments, custom instruments that took like 7 months to be made, they were not being able to pay for things. So this is the first thing that I do. And as you can see, we have the monthly expenses, all of the things that they pay, SBA loans, any kind of loan that you can have, custom goods that you can see right there, their security system, everything that can be measured monthly, right? Then you have monthly expenses here, and then you can see this is the way I've automated this whole system, the units that they need to sell in order to be profitable, right? And sometimes it's not just see what they're going to do in the future. Let's say this month they sold 3 instruments that were $3,000. It all changes, the overhead changes, the monthly profit and loss will change, but in this case it's not gonna do much, and I'm gonna explain step by step what I do. The second thing that I do with Google Sheets is to manage orders. In this case, we have a company here, and we have a serial number. We have on each serial number, we have a sheet with their specifications for each client. We have the clients here, and we have the model of product that they're selling, the date. We have automated due dates on the right. Whenever we put the date, we have a due date that's automated, in this case 7 months, and we have specifications. Now again, I'm gonna go explain all of these things, but the more information you have about your clients, your customers, you don't have to go back to their emails and check the information again and lose a lot of time. So Google Sheets is great. Okay, so let's go to our numbers sheet, and we're gonna start with this one. So there's 2 small companies here in Tennessee. They make custom instruments, guitars and basses, and I have worked for people that make shoes. I work for psychologists, and of course a psychologist just have a tiny list of things that they need to spend money. It's not the case of a manufacturer. You have a bunch of parts. In this case, we have woods, we have plastic parts, we have electronics that involve in every instrument that they make. They have hardware plates, metal plates, and hardware that is more complicated, and all little parts that you need to have all of the prices. You have discounts, you have shipping, you have taxes, and you have the vendors. I create a database for this, so I can automate a thing that I call the cost calculator, right? So whenever these guys want to make a new instrument or they want to sell one, basically I have everything that goes into an instrument, right? I have the base cost, things that will never vary from instrument to instrument, right? Here it is for a guitar, right? And then I have the base cost right here, and then I have all of the other variants that product will have. Again, you can apply this to manufacturing or whatever it is that you're doing. If you have coaching sessions, of course this will be more simple. But the point is, whenever you have something automated, you don't have to think of pricing and profit and things every time that you go through all of these things. So we have our database of parts, we have our cost calculator based on that database, and then you have the pricing tool. Now I kept this old sheet here, and this is the new one. This is the calculator, but this is the old sheet, and as you can see, that was the pricing of 2023. And after I did all of my thing, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instruments, or 7 products that the company had that were unprofitable. So every time somebody requested this model right here, they were losing $120. In this case, that was way worse. Right here, every time this business owner decided to sell one of these instruments, with the numbers he calculated prior to my involvement, he was actually losing $300, $305. So whenever you calculate cost, you have to put everything that you can think of. If you go to work in a car, okay, you need to put the gas. If you're gonna have lunch every day outside because you do business, you need to put that lunch. In this case, again, prior to my involvement, after I calculated all of his numbers, right, he had 7 products that were not profitable. One by 30%, other 8.57, 57, excuse me, 11%. I mean, he was losing money all over the place. After we rearranged those prices, these are the new prices, 24, and we did this a year ago, everything was profitable, absolutely everything. It's not that he didn't know what profit was. The thing was, he was not putting everything that you need to put, including labor. How many hours of labor you're gonna put into each instrument, Business owners tend to not calculate labor because they say, well, I'm working on the business so far, so I'm not gonna pay anybody. But at some point, well, that to me is lying to yourself. Labor has to be put somewhere. So this is one case that shows you very specifically, if you miscalculate, you will be losing money with your business. So now that you know that you can create a database of your costs, you automate a calculator. Let's say we're gonna make a guitar and we're gonna put a poplar body, it changes the price. If we're gonna use a different wood for the top of that guitar, it's less expensive, and you have a calculation at the end of this tool that's gonna go on your pricing tool, right? So again, this takes a while, but the more you automate, you're gonna save a lot of money, believe me. So there you have, in this case, this is a tiny company, and he puts here, the monthly expenses in terms of payroll, cost of woods, and in this case, he needs to make this amount of money every month. Then I had this other company, again, the same example, that was losing a lot of money, not because they were under calculating things, it's because their pricing model, they were offering small payments, and whenever you do that, that's called financing. Do you have an extra 100,000 in your bank account so you can sustain your operation and basically tell those clients that, yeah, you can finance their instruments or any product, don't pay later, and you're gonna make profit at the very end? Most companies can't. So this is the tool I use to calculate. Again, I have automated all of this, and this is how I run these small businesses, and I have some others. Then you have this tool that I call basically a dashboard, and then you have your serial numbers that I fill with information. They create a sheet, and I do that with Google Forms. Google Forms is so easy to use, and it can give you stats of how many products people are buying, which ones are the most popular. If you have a bunch of options, you're gonna get, the stats of what option is the most popular, so you can put marketing into those things. Then I have the model, then I have the date, and then I have my due dates automated. Then I have specs, and this is really important. Sometimes business owners that create custom things, they will say, okay, you can call me in a week or so, whatever, and I will tell you, and you will tell me your specs. What happens is that the owner forgets to call the client forgets to call the company, and you have incomplete specifications or orders, right? So now we have what I made with these small businesses. We have these drop-down menus, and okay, this guy, okay, he filled the specifications. This guy is incomplete. We need to call him, so we know in just one screen we can know all of the processes. And this guy changed his mind, meaning that we have to go back to his sheet and it's updated because it's online, right? And then you have a progress map. These are all the progress this custom instruments go. And this is not just a progress map that you will see and it will tell you a few things. This is online for the client, and you can go on our website, and that's an app that we call the Client Updater. This timeline is online for the client on our website, so he can watch the process as it goes. Just like when you're ordering something from eBay and you get a FedEx update or UPS, that timeline that shows you where things are coming. We had almost 20 emails a week, people demanding to know what's happening with my build, with my product. So once we created this and put it online, that whole thing stopped, so that we turned that into an app that we sell. On another company, we have something similar, right? And as you can see, they have a lot more issues. And this is just responsibility of the company, that they don't call their clients, and this is what happens. They trust that the client's gonna give you the information, and suddenly, you're 2 weeks away from completing this thing, and oh no, we need to call the client, and we wanted to change the color, so it doesn't work. This company, the one right here, as you can see, I've been working with them from almost a year, and they have their operation a little more together. This company that I'm working with right now, we have been just working a few weeks. You can see that they're starting to use the system, and the system revealed that they were not very good at taking orders, which seems so simple. And this other thing, you look at this map. If you can see the map, we have a bunch of instruments that have not, or products that have not been started because they could not see it on one screen, and you have other products that started. This means that they don't have a very clean operation, and it's all over the place. If you go back to the other company that we have been working for a year, you can see a perfect triangle, meaning that the first ones that we have been working with are more completed, and the other ones, as we are filling, the orders, they're about to start. So this is a very healthy company. With these ones, we are starting to work. Their financials are very complicated, because of this. But I use these two tools for operations mainly, and the two apps that I will show you, and you can see them on my website. So I can run a company, and I can actually consult on other companies by making these dashboards. And if they want to use them, fine, but I can know their numbers really easily. And if they want to use them, great. Again, I have a bunch of small businesses that uses my systems, and this is what you get basically. They start to feel more healthy after a few months. So this is the operational part. Okay, with numbers, most business owners, and it was my case a few years ago, people get really anxious, but you need to understand them. You need to keep track of them. If you are not really good at this, you can leave it in the hands of somebody else. We help entrepreneurs do all of this, especially solo entrepreneurs, the ones that really don't have the amount of money to hire somebody monthly, but we can put all of the systems, train them, and then that person can make decisions on his own or her own, and not having to pay salary, because labor, as you've seen, overhead, it's many people cannot afford to do that. So that's what we do, help solo entrepreneurs. If you have any questions, we're going to talk later about marketing and how do we do that and how to control it. Warm reach, cold reach, tools that I use for other businesses and my own. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to help you. Bye bye.